Hello everyone, welcome to the another lecture for the learning of the course Digital System Design using Verilog HDL. This lecture is all about the data flow modeling in Verilog HDL. That is the next abstraction level in Verilog HDL after gate level modeling. The following topics will be covered in this lecture: Introduction to data flow modeling, continuous assignment, implicit operation, operator precedence, and finally examples. Introduction to data flow modeling. When complexity of the circuits are increasing, then it is very difficult to look all the logic gates individually and model them. Gate level modeling is good for small circuits where designers can model the each and every logic gate manually. Therefore, designers move to next abstraction level, higher than gate level, to model the complex circuits. Here modeling style is changed, and in place of logic gates, Boolean functions are considered to model the circuits. It avoids the modeling complexity compared to gate level modeling style. In data flow modeling, data is flowing between the registers. This modeling style is widely used for combinational logic circuits. In data flow modeling style, it is needed to assign the values for nets. Assign is a keyword in data flow modeling for the assignment of the values for the nets. The syntax for the assign keyword is shown here. Assign, then continuous assignment variables equal to list of nets assignment or equations. Continuous assignment is the most fundamental statement in data flow modeling. Assignment statement replaces the number of logic gates into a single value nets data type. Continuous assignment variable should be a net. It cannot be a register data type, while the list of nets assignment may be a net or register data types. Assignment statement is used for continuous driven nodes. Therefore, variables must be nets data type. Implicit operation. It is a way to declare the variables in Verilog. In this case, designers declare the nets without assigning the nets for the same output. Examples are given here. In this example, first we declare out as a nets data type, then we assigning the value for out, that is arithmetic operation a plus b. This overall expression can be written as var out equal to a plus b. It means out variable is a nets data type by using this keyword var, and it is a arithmetic operation. So this syntax var out equal to a plus b is the implicit continuous assignment. In example 2, first we are declaring a and b. Both are the nets data type. So we are using var keyword here. Then we are assigning out, that is a plus b. By default, out is a nets data type in case of assign keyword. So we can ignore for declaring a and b as a nets data type. Can simply assign out equal to a plus b. So here assign keyword simply show the variable that is listed here. It should be a nets data type. It means a plus b operation should be a nets data type. Various types of operators are utilized in data flow modeling. These operators are already discussed in part 1 of this course. These operators have priority and act like that when no brackets are used in the expressions. This table shows the operator precedence. Highest priority is given to the unary operations, means single operand expressions. Plus, minus, logical NOT and bitwise NOT are used with single operands and having the highest precedence. Here plus and minus signs are used for signed number systems with single operand. For example, +5 or -9. Then the priority is given to arithmetic operators, that is multiplication, division and modulus, followed by other arithmetic operations, that is addition and subtractions. Then shifting, relational, equality, reduction operators. In reduction operators, first we used and NAND reduction operators. Then XOR, XNOR reduction operators. Then OR, NOR reduction operators. These reduction operators are the bitwise operators. Then logical AND, logical OR. Last priority is given to conditional operators. The sequence presented in the table is applied in case of no clarification of operations is mentioned or depicted in the expression. Sufficient examples are presented in this lecture for illustrate the data flow modeling style. The combinational circuits are taken here for the better understanding of the modeling. Sequential circuits can be modeled using data flow modeling, and examples will be provided in next lectures after clearing the useful and needed concepts for sequential circuits. And here 2-bit comparator circuit is modeled using bitwise operators in data flow modeling. Comparator is combinational circuit and block diagram is shown here. There are 2 inputs A and B and 3 outputs, A less than V, A equal V and A greater than V. A and V are the 2-bit numbers. The comparator compared the 2 inputs A and V and generate the output. The Boolean function for all 3 outputs are given here. For A less than V, A equal to V and A greater than V. And the Verilog program for 2-bit comparator circuit is presented here. Module, then module name we have taken here. Compare inputs A, B, outputs A less than V, A equal V, A greater than V. And here inputs are 2-bit numbers. So we are mentioning here vector 1 to 0, A, B. It means A and V numbers are 2-bit numbers. Output A less than V, A equal V, A greater than V. These are 1-bit numbers. And here we are using assign statements. Assign, then A less than B equal to A less than V is here A1 dash B1 plus A1 dash A0 dash B0 plus A0 dash B1 B0. Similarly for A equal to B, case of A equal to B, expression is A1 B1 plus A1 dash B1 dash. It means this one is XNOR function of A1 B1. And here A0 B0 plus A0 dash B0 dash. It means it is also XNOR function of A0 and B0. So here we are simply using A1 bitwise XNOR B1 with AND function A0 XNOR B0. Similarly for A greater than B, and using bitwise operators, the expression is written here. AND module. From this example, we can see that data flow modeling is easy compared to gate level and switch level for the large circuits. If we implement 2-bit comparator circuit using gate level or switch level, then Verilog program will be lengthy and chances of errors may increase. Therefore, data flow modeling makes the design easy and reliable. There are number of ways to model the logic circuits in Verilog HDL. And here we are modeling 2-bit comparator circuit using relational operators. The problem is same as discussed in last example. Here 2-bit comparator circuits, inputs are A and V and outputs will be A less than V, A equal V and A greater than V. Verilog program for 2-bit comparator circuit using relational operators is presented here. Module, that is keyword, module name, compare input output terminals A, B, A less than B, A equal B and A greater than B. Inputs are A and B and both are 2-bit numbers. So here we are using a vector 1 to 0. Outputs are A less than B, A equal B, A greater than B. These are 1-bit output variables. So we are simply using relational operators for all the 3 output variables. So assign A less than B. This condition is true if A is less than B. In case of A equal B, we are simply checking A logical equal B. If this condition is fulfilled, then output will be 1, otherwise 0. A greater than B. If this condition is true, then output is 1, otherwise 0. Then AND module. Here same circuit is presented, but we are modeling here using conditional operators. And Verilog program for 2-bit comparator circuit using conditional operators is depicted here. Module name and input output terminals. Input A and B both are 2-bit numbers. Output A less than B, A equal B, A greater than B. And here we are simply checking the conditions, whether the conditions are true or not. So in case A less than B, we are checking the condition A less than B. If this condition is true, then we simply assign the value for A less than B is equal to 1. Otherwise, it will be 0. In case of A equal B, we are checking the condition A logical B. If this expression is true, then output will be 1, otherwise it will be 0. In case of A greater than B, the condition is here A greater than B. And if this expression is true, then output is 1, otherwise output is equal to 0. AND module. This example is 4-bit ripple carry full adder using concatenation operator. So here in case of full adder, we know there are 3 inputs A, B and C in and 2 outputs sum and C out. So Verilog program for 4-bit ripple carry full adder circuit is given here. Module keyword, module name full underscore adder and input output terminals. Inputs are A, B, C in and outputs are S and C out. So here inputs A and B, these are 4-bit numbers. So here we are using a vector 3 to 0 and this one is showing A and B are 4-bit numbers. Input C is 1-bit number. It is carry input output, that is sum, and its sum will be 4-bit number. So vector is declared here 3 to 0 and output C out. C out is carry output and carry output will be 1-bit number. So here we are using concatenation operator and in concatenation we are using C out and sum, and here we are also using the assign statement A plus B plus C in. So in this case the final output will be C out comma S. C out is 1-bit carry output signal, and in case of final summation, C out will be the most significant bit and remaining bits are the sum bits, and the final result is saved as C out comma S. AND module. Another example here, 4-bit ripple carry full adder using bitwise operators. So here we are using bitwise operators as well as instantiation process. So for instantiation process, we divided 4-bit ripple carry full adder into 4 1-bit full adder circuits like this, and the input signals are given here. For first 1-bit full adder, input signals are A0, B0 and carry in, and output of this full adder circuit will be the 1-bit for the final sum output, that is S0, and the carry output will be the intermediate terminal. It acts as a carry input for the next 1-bit full adder circuit, and output of this 1-bit full adder circuit will be the second bit for the final sum, and the carry output for this full adder circuit will be the carry input for the next 1-bit full adder circuit, and output here is third bit for the final sum output, and carry output will be the carry input for the last full adder circuit, and final sum bit will be S3, and the output is here final carry output. So first we are writing the Verilog program for 1-bit full adder circuit. So here this program is for 1-bit full adder circuit. Module name is adder underscore 1B, that is 1-bit number, and here we are assuming inputs are A, B and C in, and outputs will be S and C out, and these input and output signals are 1-bit numbers. So here input A, B, C in, output S, C out. So we are simply using bitwise operators. So the sum output is the XOR function of all the 3 input signals, that is A XOR B XOR C in, and the C out of the full adder circuit is the AB plus B C in plus C in A. So here we are writing this expression using bitwise operators like this AND module. So this program is for 1-bit full adder circuit, and now we are using this 1-bit full adder circuit as an instance, and we are calling this instance in our 4-bit triple carry full adder circuit. So this program is for 4-bit triple carry full adder circuit, and here we are using this diagram for the simplification. Module keyword, module name adder underscore 4B, 4-bit number. Inputs are A, B, C in, outputs are S, C out. Here inputs A and B are 4-bit numbers, so we are declaring here vector 320, and carry input is 1-bit number. Similarly output S is 4-bit number, so vector is here 320, and final carry output is 1-bit number. So in case of 4-bit triple carry full adder, there are 3 intermediate terminals, and these are W1, W2 and W3, and these 3 intermediate terminals should be continuous driven signals. So here we are declaring W1, W2, W3 as a wire. We are using instantiation process and port mapping. So we are calling adder underscore 1-bit, that is the same module name here, adder underscore 1-bit. So we are calling this program 1-bit program in our 4-bit triple carry full adder program. There are 4 1-bit full adder circuits. So for simplification, we are labeled these 1-bit adders. This 1-bit full adder is FA0. This 1-bit full adder is FA1. This one is FA2 and this one is FA3. Adder underscore 1-bit FA0. This one is FA0. Bracket, and in bracket we are mapping the terminals or ports. One input terminal is A, so dot A, and this input terminal is matched with the full adder input terminals. So in case of FA0, A input signal is here A0. So in bracket we are mentioning A square bracket 0, second input of 1-bit full adder circuit, and it is mapped with the second input of the final full adder circuit. Similarly dot C in, here this C in is showing for 1-bit full adder circuit, and it is exactly matched with the final 4-bit carry input signal. So C in is C in. Dot S, here dot S is mapped with the S0 in 4-bit triple carry adder. Dot C out, here dot C out is intermediate terminal, that is W1. Similarly for second one bit full adder circuit, that is FA1. In case of FA1, A signal is mapped with A1, B signal is mapped with B1, sum is mapped with S1, Cout is mapped with W2. Third, one bit full adder circuit, that is FA2. In case of FA2, A is mapped with A2, B is mapped with B2, sum is mapped with S2, and Cout is mapped with W3, and Cin mapped with W2. In case of fourth full adder circuit, that is this one, A is equal to A3, B is equal to B3, Cin is equal to W3, and sum is S3, and Cout is here Cout. So Cout is here Cout, AND module. So here we are using instantiation process, and using this instantiation process we are modeled 4-bit ripple carry full adder using 1-bit ripple carry full adder circuits using bitwise operators.